Welcome to the Hyperborean HeeHaw. My name is Devin Madgy. I'm here to present some words. Maybe you'll enjoy those words. And in this HeeHaw, we are talking about the world. Specifically, what is happening in the world. Corona, vaccines, mayhem, cultural and economic collapse. Can we handle it? Can we? And what do you think all of this is? You think this is all just a calculated attempt to hurt humans, period? I'm not buying it because I know better. I know better than to take in information with my eyes and then believe it and recognize it as, pure truth. So here is the truther narrative right now. And how can we not verify this for ourselves? There is a coup of the world happening right now. The New World Order is wanting to implement a transhumanist agenda. Yes, we've all heard this. Many of us have even thought this. But I'm here to inform you that ain't happening, baby. That ain't happening, baby. I don't care how scary things look. That isn't happening. Well, that's kind of an ignorant perspective. What do you mean it's not happening? Haven't you opened your eyes? I already told you, I don't simply believe what is fed to me in 3D. And when we can take just a few steps back from the situation and from our own reactivity, it's very clear and apparent. It's pretty obvious. This machine that we call the energy extraction matrix, that's all it is. It's a machine. It's on autopilot. It's not orchestrating itself from this fluid inner spark that we call spirit. No. It's operating off of stolen energy. So it's doomed to fail. This AI consciousness is doomed to fail. And as it is failing, because it is failing right before our eyes, what do you think its last cries are? Not cries of defeat. No. Just more manipulation. The wrongdoings here, the so-called wrongdoings here, are just representations of something you're not, that I'm not. It's really as simple as that. Just by being here, existing, you're performing alchemy. That's the thing most don't understand. Alchemy is never a conscious act. Spirit guides you into specific modes where you can resurrect your true self even more. So knowing this, how can we say there's anything messed up? There's nothing messed up here. It's a con. It's a cosmic con. If you at any point have said, oh, this is terrible, why? You've been conned. And guess what? I've been conned too. The con is this, that you are not free, that you are not sovereign, that you do not have worth, that you are just a cog in a wheel. But who grants you freedom? Is it daddy government? Is it sky daddy? Is it even, this goddess, that figurehead? No, bozo, it's you. Your freedom is innate. So when we're speaking of rallying for a cause against the government or something like that, you see, that's not freedom. That's actually a declaration of further enslavement. So when I say you're free, you're sovereign, I'm not saying it in the way that many truthers would, like, you're a sovereign being and you should demand your rights. No. You see, that's the con. That's not the innate condition, that's the con. And even the fleshly narrative of this life is a con too. The stories we tell ourselves about our lives. Like, I was born on this day, and when I was 12, I met this girl, and then I got married, and at 34, I did this, and blah, 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 linear line. That's a charade too. Even family, that's not your real family. Oh, no. I'm not saying treat them like poo-poo, but I am saying your true family is not around you right now. Your true family extends outside of the earthly. And what do I mean when I say the earthly? I mean that which requires consistent maintenance to stay afloat. Just think of your body in 3D. You need to sleep. Eventually, you could go a few days without sleep. Eventually, you will need sleep to operate effectively. That's maintenance. There's no way around that. If I spill a glass of water, it's not going to go away unless I wipe up the water. In order to eat food, you need to plant a seed in the ground and wait. You see, all of these things have to do with time, have to do with energy in and energy out, energy up and energy down. This is duality. This is higher and lower. This is better and worse. And these contrasts are in our face. So in the original reality, there's no such thing as virtue because everything is what we would call virtuous. But here, on this side of the fence, we have many examples of what happens when you ignore virtues or you take the natural state and you flip them around. It's the same thing with beauty. There's really no such thing as beauty, because everything is beauty. Everything that is eternal is beautiful. Everything that is temporary is ugly. Or, at the very least, not beautiful. And when I don't see beauty, I don't see life. I don't care. I don't care what culture wants to tell me. Yes, call me shallow. If I do not see beauty, I do not see life. And I do see beauty in what's happening right now on Earth. Because all of these charades have one purpose, to push you into yourself. And how does that work? Well, we've explained this many times, but here you find yourself in a world where nothing is as you would like it, absolutely nothing. And now there's a quarantine. So even in this limited world, it was limited before the stupid quarantine, but now you don't have the option to merge with the ways of the world. Oh no. And if you do, now, well, there's all of these hoops you have to jump through, mask wearing and, people are talking about an identification card for a vaccine. It's like, sure, we could be very upset about these circumstances, but it's giving the living souls a bittersweet medicine. And it's more bitter than sweet, to be honest. We're taking the tonic of self-actualization. We agreed to this before this experience. So it's not something you can avoid or even will into existence. Self-actualization can only happen when your surroundings fail you. We learn from failure. And what's happening now? Our surroundings are seemingly failing us. Nothing is, normal anymore. There's this new normal. I say, great. That's how we transition into the golden age. COVID-19, C void AI, motherfucker. This is how we transition into the golden age. Because the longer we sit in this quarantine, and we're almost done, baby. We're almost done. Just sit tight. Just hold on. God, stop being so impatient. But the longer this has progressed, the more in ourselves the living souls feel. Sometimes that's not comfortable, is it? Because if you're in yourself and you're not vibing, or you're purging, or you're hurting, then you're hurting. So one of the biggest lies spirituality and the ascension community has tried to advertise is that spiritual awakening is fun. It's not fun. It's not fun to go from lead into gold, to go from dead into alive, from unconscious to conscious. That's not fun. It feels like death. It feels like you're dying 1,000,000 times and being reborn. It feels like you're going in circles sometimes, having to revisit shadows from the past, habits from the past, or even from the future. I don't fucking know. Time. So what an opportunity we have right now. Yeah, but I'm struggling. It's like, well, that's why you're here. That's why you're here. This is the earth purgatory. It's the dumping ground. Remember my videos on the purgatorial dumping ground? That phrase was formulated very carefully. This is a dumping ground. You're here to suffer. Obviously, there's a reason why people don't appreciate this kind of blunt talk. Because it's not very fluffy. It's not very feel good. It's kind of I don't know. It's kind of masculinized. Great. You see, we can step out of this overly feminine way of interacting with ourselves and with the world. We need the feminine. I'm all about the feminine. But after cultivating that substrate, the masculine then shines and takes the feminine and puts some order into it, puts some divine order. So right now, there's a huge call for the divine masculine to come to the forefront and say, hey, everybody, look how fucked up this shit is. And the reason I use this kind of verbiage is to play with the so-called darkness, because I could easily sit here. I'd be lying to myself and to all of you, but I could easily sit here and say, things are looking bad. We're seeing this vaccine rolling out and everything else. And I could easily do that and spew these basic fear-based talking points. I'm not going to, because I'm about the truth. Why can't we poke fun at this weirdness? It's miserable. It's miserable to comply with its authenticity. But whatever. It's like, think what you want to think. And I ask, even to this minute, Bring it. Torment me until I see the truth through the lens of my heart. Not through the lens of this artificial love we talk about. I'm talking about my heart. I'm not talking about doing what's good or what's compassionate or empathetic. All of those ideas of love can fuck off. Can fuck off. Have no place in my life. Any idea which is peddled with much fervor but without much forethought, it's a lie. It's a lie. So while I cannot tell you the truth 9 out of 10 times, I can 10 out of 10 times tell you what's false. That's all we need to do here, is to observe what's false. As long as you observe what is false, you'll be fine. In fact, you'll be more than fine. So we got a bunch of craziness around us. And ask yourself, would you rather be existing in the 1990s or the 1950s or something? Or, I don't know, another time. Because if you did exist in those times right now, we wouldn't be able to have these conversations about consciousness and as within, so without, and what's happening with the world, how reality operates. It's only in 2020 that we're granted the clear vision through observation to be able to have these amazing realizations. And you want to see truth, right? Or would you rather be in a false veil? You want to be in the real reality. Same with me. I don't want to be in a fabricated reality. So if I'm in a fabricated reality, which we are in, then I want to see it for what it is. I don't want to have to be comfortable in an illusion. And if we went back to the 80s or the 50s or something, we would be experiencing a reality that has more bottled up behind the scenes, a thicker veil, a more lulled out kind of hypnosis, which we're breaking out of as we speak. The veil is lifting. Everything is changing. Time is changing. Our relationship with words, our relationship with our own energy, with food, with each other. This is huge. This so-called awakening seems to be one and the same with the so-called degradation of society and the imposition of this New World Order agenda. Maybe, just maybe, I don't know, I'm not a very intelligent person, maybe I don't have all of my facts, they might need to be checked by a bigger organization, but maybe the huge ruckus we're witnessing on Earth right now is the last cry of demise of this false consciousness. Truman in The Truman Show was incredibly uncomfortable throughout his journey to exit his matrix. It wasn't comfortable. He even wanted to slip back into his old life a few times, but his inner compass was screaming for freedom. There is a lockdown imposed in The Truman Show. It's not the same kind of lockdown we're experiencing. But Truman decides to run away, to break free. And when he does, his surroundings start to band together. You could even say, his surroundings became this new world order to try and secure him once again into the Matrix. And they try to search for him. Using this as a metaphor, the AI realized, oh shit, he's awake. And when they realized this, they started to panic. Okay, what's happening here? Panic. There's a huge awakening. And it's successful. It can't be stopped. And it has to do with the resurrection of your true self. And as this has been happening, many would say since 2012, the quote system increasingly locks itself down. Makes so much sense to me. So the crazier we hear of things in this world, the weirder the stories get, the more dystopian things appear, the closer we are to the big event, which is not the end, it is the beginning. We haven't even started. Things haven't even begun. No, they have not. So, thank you everybody for joining us on this Hyperborean HeeHaw. I have no idea if I'll continue this kind of shindig. Hope you're doing well, as deep as a well. Bye.